So I said to her, I can understand you saying that, because if you're reading the lies and the almost like the bended truth about things, then, and you haven't had any actual response from me, because I didn't even know. I mean, I didn't even know this was going to happen. Then you would just, as a good judge, want to do what's best for Sebastian. But the ANC had opened an abduction case the day before. And so obviously, the minute the judge said, well, I'm going to give the temporary, I'm not quite sure the exact terms, but basically that he could stay on at Shane while they do an investigation, then the lawyer of Shane said, well, then can we have the abduction case? I don't know. I don't know. They use such terms, and the whole time I actually said, I don't even have legal aid, and I don't even understand all these terms that you are using. I don't even understand what you are all saying. And I just feel like if Sebastian has lived with me for 14 years, and I don't even give my kids a hiding. That's what it is. I don't. I'm not strict with them in the sense of that that they have a hard time. They actually have a very we live in the countryside. We're very rustic. They've got a vegetable garden. They have a rabbit. They have 2 guinea pigs. They have dogs. They have cats. They have a snake. They have birds, a parrot, and they have 4 budgies. And my entire house is full of so many things to do with learning. I mean, it was the one thing the woman in Stillby said to me is, she said, only after I had Susanna in my home for about 3 or 4 months did I realize how multifaceted and multi-talented your daughter was, that she was just this absolute amazing person that could do anything and everything and really, really well. And also, she had portrayed herself as being, my mom doesn't do my homeschooling right, and this and that and everything else. And then she walked into the school, and in 6 months she was top of her grade. She was the top student. And she said her logic said to her, how on earth could this child, if she wasn't doing homeschooling correctly, be so intelligent, be so talented, be so able, and walk into a school not in her mother tongue, not an English school. She walked into an Afrikaans school that did not have an English class. So she had to go from doing all her schoolwork in English and learn all the terminology for maths, for science, for everything in Afrikaans. But still, she became the top student. So Marina said all of that started to ring alarm bells. And at one stage, she said to her that you will not control me and manipulate me the way that you obviously controlled and manipulated your mother. I'm not your mother. I'm not going to be pushed around by you. And I think that is probably a lot to do with why she disappeared, because once they get to that point of resistance, then they want out. They don't want to listen. They want to be the boss. And I don't know what else went on. I wasn't there. I wasn't in that house. So unfortunately, I really can't be a person that can talk about what was afforded to her or what was not afforded to her in those living conditions. But I certainly do know that, for example, little Lorna, she's an avid reader. She likes to write stories. She has a ukulele, 3 classical guitars, an electric guitar, a violin, a piano. She's taught herself to play all of them. She plays them really, really well. I will maybe put a video on showing you her playing these instruments. So it's just crazy how you can send your children on holiday, and because of a lot of money being involved, the temptation of, if you look after your siblings, I'm going to buy you a house. Well, I mean, I'd also say yes. And just also lavishing, giving Lorna ridiculous amounts of money and making her feel like, if you go along with what I'm suggesting, just remember, I'm the one with the pounds. When you convert it to rands, I'm the one that can give you everything and anything your heart's desire. But I want to do it this way and that way and this way. So it's very sad, but I think that I would really like my story to get out there. I think that it's terrible that I had a child that died because people did not do their job properly. I think it's really, really sad that I had to fight just for simple thing like a postmortem. That I think it was about a month. For a month I fought with the police of this country. They eventually sent out a man, he was an Inspector Tiart, who told me in very, very clear words that did I see what color the police officers were, that how the police, the entire police force had become a force made up of, he used very racist terms, very straightforward racist terms for African and for colored people. He didn't call them African people and he didn't call them colored people. He called them, and I took a recording of that. And once I notified the police that I had recordings of that, they became more interested in the recordings to actually prosecute the high-ranking officer for being racist than they actually were interested in the fact that I'd struggled so much and that his body had gone missing, etc. So it was really very insulting and very upsetting that they will go to a lot of effort for certain things, but those are not actually the crimes, and those are not the things that they should be fighting for. So there came a time where I said to them I would give them the recordings of the racial slur if they started to give me some answers about what had actually happened. I have somewhere here. I wonder where it is. Let me just see. I just want to see if I can see. I want to show you. I'm not sure where my handbag. I have a handbag that's covered in buttons, and one of the buttons is a little recording device. It's a little microphone. Perhaps I'll show it to you. It's somewhere here in one of my shelves. I found it. So you'll see that, for example, let's see on which side it is. I think it's been taken off this one, but it was here on this. I think it's where this little hole was. There was a little